Hey guys, what's going on? This is Larknok 1 slash AKW Addict, and vacation's here! Aw yeah! Anyways, today I got you guys a 28-3 TDM on Arcadin, where I main my favorite pistol in the game, the 5.7 silenced. And when I run out of ammo, I switch to an extended mag, rapid fire PP. Yeah, hate on me for that. Anyways, one of my favorite things about using the 5.7 silenced is that it makes you feel like James Bond. I've probably said this like a million times to some of my friends over Skype, but like, you feel the rush, especially when you're running like 50,000 miles per hour with that gun. So last time I made a video, guys, Elfreight263 said, where do you think the world is going? What is it like commentating? And what is it like getting paid making vids if you still do lol? Now, getting into the first thing he asked about, where do you think the world is going? Now, I could probably talk ages about this, so before I do, let's just specify exactly what the question he's asking. So he says, where do you think the world is going? Now, he could have meant politically, economically, religiously, environmentally, etc. I could probably talk a day's worth on each of those topics. So I'll just start with politics, I guess. And I'm not even going to go that deep into that, to be honest. Now, these couple past years, 2010, 2011, have probably been some of the biggest years for revolution in history. We had the Arab Spring, just to start, and that'll probably be the topic for today. With revolutions in Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya. Major uprisings in Algeria, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Morocco, and I think Oman. And minor protests in pretty much the rest of the Middle East and Northern Africa. Now, the Arab Spring, if you didn't know what it was a group of major protests that happened mostly in Northern Africa, where a bunch of people that wanted more civil liberties and rights protested against government and eventually demanded their dictators overthrown. In Tunisia and Libya, both countries in Northern Africa, their dictators resigned pretty quickly. But in Libya, Gaddafi held on to his rule for quite a while, until with the help of NATO and the Libyan revolutionaries, they overthrew Gaddafi and took control of the country. Well, that's progress, right? You're probably thinking, well, in some ways yes, in some ways no. It's great that that part of the world is overthrowing dictators, but at the same time, what comes after that? Do they install a democratic republic like America or Europe? Do they turn to a single new political dictator who somewhat represents the majority? Do they become a religious nation which enforces its singular religion on its people, thereby restraining civil liberties? Or do they become a militant occupied nation, run by generals and military commanders? In fact, that's more important than what they did with their previous dictator, far more important. Now, what's the probability that they get themselves a proper, uncorrupt democratic republic just after overthrowing their dictator? Probably maybe 1, 2 at best %. Well, why such a low number, Larknok? It's because people are greedy. I'd say that greed is probably the root of about 90% of the world's problems. The key to creating a good government is to eliminate greed. When you're dealing with a headless country, just waiting for the next big shot to assert control over the country, it becomes incredibly easier to imagine why it's so easy for a greedy, powerful guy to get elected, or coup d'etat the interim government, and suddenly became master of everything in that nation. On top of being greedy, people can often be easily bent to the will of the rich and powerful, very simply. Why do militant regimes succeed? Why do people agree to participate in armies protecting dictators in order to protect their families from those dictators? You see, a lot of militant dictators artificially create their power. Most power is artificially created. I think the best example I've heard to this is often used as a joke, but it's pretty applicable, although somewhat unrealistic. It goes like this. A man walks up to a huge business corporation building. At the front desk, he demands that the company make his son the CEO of their company. They tell him no and to go home, obviously. He says, my son is married to Bill Gates' daughter, and he's the heir to all the Gates' money. After a little bit of paperwork, they sign his son up as CEO of the company. Then the man goes to Bill Gates and he says, let my son marry your daughter. Bill Gates asks, why should I let you do that? The man answers, my son is the CEO of this big company, and both our families could benefit from their marriage. So then the son marries the daughter, and boom, there you go. The man just artificially created and made his son super powerful, and he's the next in line to have some of the most money in the world, completely artificially. This is This is much how military dictators often control their armies. The example's not so realistic because I doubt that would ever work. But they don't necessarily pay all their troops, the military dictators. But they use their armies to scare other people into joining their armies. So at the end of the day, the dictator has armies completely full of people scared of those armies. Crazy, right? There's a quote about peaceful revolution. I don't exactly remember who said it, but it goes a bit like this. When there are very few supporters of a dictator left, and when the military refuses to attack and intimidate its own people, it is then that a peaceful revolution has been accomplished. Anyways, I just touched upon one little tiny bit of one little part of where the world is going. Maybe I'll come back to it in a future commentary and talk about this stuff again. Depends if you guys like this or not, the more meaningful, deeper stuff. Now, because there's not much time left in this video, let me see if I can answer the final two questions as fast as possible. Alfred asked, what is it like commentating? Not why, silly me. Now to answer that, I think that I'd have to say that I love commentating. I love voicing my opinion. I like talking to people about things that interest me or things that matter. Now, if I get to choose when to talk about either of those, even better. Being a commentator is kind of like being in charge of discussions. It's really quite fun if that sort of thing interests you. I think that's enough to answer that question. The other thing that Elfried asked was, what is it like getting paid for vids, lol? I don't get paid all that much for my videos. I think I'll just leave it at that, to that level of detail, I guess. YouTube might get mad if I go any more specific. Most of my incentive to make videos is to talk about stuff and to make you guys happy, because I like entertaining. I really don't get very much money at all. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want me to talk about anything, make sure to leave a comment like Elfried did. Thumb this up if you liked this video, favorite this video if you liked it a lot, and as always guys, subscribe for more, and peace! I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.